Well, hey everybody, how's everybody doing again today? As promised, I wanted to make a video about something I picked up at an estate sale. You can probably tell by the size of the box that it's a set. So, kind of been on a lookout for something like this. This one kind of dropped into my lap, and though it isn't necessarily a road name that I thought I would buy, it makes sense with some of the other stuff that I own. It's MTH product number 20-2305-1. So this is an earlier Protosound 2 era E8 set. Now I think it originally started off life as an E8 ABA set. And I purchased this one knowing that it doesn't have the B unit. So it's a dual powered A unit set. Both A units are powered. Nice thing, whoever the previous owner was, he put on here that he replaced the battery back in 2018, so that's good. I probably will end up putting a BCR into this one. I'll have to open it up and check and see if it has a BCR. I've kind of already been into this one, so this is not the first time I've opened it up. But I just wanted to kind of get this out of here and then give a little bit of a background on kind of what we have and what my plans for this set are. And it's kind of a weird set of circumstances, and you know, maybe you guys can give me your advice or your opinions on what you would do if you were in my shoes. As I unwrap this, I'll explain the situation. And you know, some of you guys, we all have our reasons for doing, you know, being in this hobby, and there's no right or wrong way, you know, to go about enjoying the hobby. I kind of like things to be semi-prototypical as it comes to the rosters and such, but some of these locomotives, there were so few of them in real life that these manufacturers, they do fantasy schemes and whatnot to appeal to a broader audience, and I can't disrespect that. If I owned that business, I would probably do the same exact thing. But what we have here, is a Protosound 2 AA, so 2 powered A units, Great Northern E8 set. And man, I tell you, these things are absolutely gorgeous. Pretty sure, I'm 99.99% sure that these come from the original Weaver tooling. So if you had these sitting next to a Weaver model, there wouldn't be much difference. I think some of these MTH Premiers have a little bit more detail to them. You know, the exposed fan grates, some of the separately applied details, but these units are absolutely beautiful. Now, the reason I stepped up and bought these is because I have a pretty fair amount of BNSF, modern BNSF locomotives. At some point I'll get them on the channel. I'll have a BNSF run day. Haven't really done that much yet. I think the AC 44000, the war bonded AC 44000's been on there, but we got some pumpkin stuff that maybe we need to get on there at some point. But these really have the same colors as that BNSF stuff, so I thought it'd be really cool to get these. Now, a little bummed, and what gave me some pause was it doesn't have the B unit. So, you know, I like to go in and do a little research on rosters and things. You know, hey, what was the real life equivalent of this stuff? Well, interestingly enough, Great Northern did not have any E8s. Not a big shock. They did have E7s. Not a whole lot of difference between the E7s and the E8s. You know, what makes these things so cool is before the days of the DD35s and the DD40s and the GE U50s, these E units were twin prime mover units. They have two 12-cylinder 567 era diesel prime movers in them. So these E8s, as they would have been if they were in real life, this would have twin naturally aspirated or roots blown 12-cylinder prime movers making 1,125 horsepower each. So these guys made about 2,250 horsepower. The final generation, the E9s, had 2,400 horsepower. So this massive locomotive only packed 2,250 horsepower. Now, interestingly, the E7s that Great Northern owned, they didn't have any B units. They only ran A units, and I think they had 13 or 14 of them. It wasn't like they had a ton of these things. So that is my dilemma. If they did in fact have E8s, and for most people an E7 and an E8 are indistinguishable, but if they did have these E8s, they wouldn't have had any B units. So that's the dilemma. Do I hunt for the B unit, which is going to be like finding a needle in a haystack, or do I just buy an E8 B unit and repaint it? This is an easy paint scheme to replicate on a B unit. I don't know. What would you guys do? Both of these guys are powered. One's a master, one's a slave. The 527 is the slave unit. So it can't run by itself, but it has all the features that this guy does. It takes its commands from this particular A unit. I've lashed these guys up. Hopefully I didn't bug you, any of you purists, by saying lash. I put these guys on the tracks together, plugged them together, and they have 1 mile and 10 minutes on the clock. So these have never been run. Whoever bought them stuck them away in a closet somewhere. The box is in excellent shape. And from the 4 or 5 pictures that I could see, I felt like that was going to be the case. So yeah, I got really lucky. These came from a very large estate. And some of the stuff in that estate, there was probably 4 or 5 other items I really had my eyes on, but they just didn't sell for prices that I felt comfortable paying when you factor in the buy fees and the shipping and all that stuff. So when you factor all that in, this was the only set that I came away with, but I'm darn happy about it. I really like the E units. I think they're pretty cool. Of all the cowl units, probably the E8s are my second favorite, only to the Alco PAs. I just think an Alco PA set is an absolutely gorgeous locomotive. But the size of these E8s, they are massive. They are huge. And together, I really think they'll make for a nice little lash up. I don't really run passenger service, passenger trains on the layout. I do have some New Haven, Madison, heavyweight cars that I've had for sale that nobody's bitten on. And, they're a little darker shade of green than this Great Northern green, but I don't know, I might just end up keeping those and running a short passenger train around the layout. They say New Haven on them. Maybe I'll paint over the New Haven livery and just add some green striping and turn them into my own Great Northern livery. I don't know. I don't know that I would go out and hunt for streamlined passenger cars for these. I don't really have a problem pulling them around as freight locomotives either. They ran passenger service for Great Northern, but ultimately these got moved over to Burlington Northern after they performed their merger. So they got repainted into that, that beautiful green and white Burlington Northern scheme, and were used primarily for freight service until being scrapped. Well, these have all been scrapped at this point, I'm pretty sure, if I were correct. Well, I'm talking about the E7s. They never had the E8s. I'm talking about the E7s, but in any respect, they have operating Mars lights up front, which look absolutely amazing. Directional Mars lights, which are really nice. The side doors are spring-loaded, really nice. You have see-through fans up top, smoke units in each. Opening back here where the steam generators would have been, flexible diaphragms. It's just a really gorgeous pair of locos. And I got these for a pretty good price. I'm very happy, even with the taxes. Well, not taxes, but buyer's fee. I think the auction buy fee was 15%. which is about normal. If you find these estate sales, you're going to pay about 12 to 18% typically on the buyer's fees. The auction gets you as you buy them, and they charge the seller a fee as they're selling. So they double dip, which is, I would say, kind of gross, but at the same time, that's how they make their money. So, you know, can't hate on them. If you hate on them, just don't buy from them. But shipping was a little high on these guys because it's a big box. But yeah, was really thrilled when I got home and saw these on my patio or on my front porch. That big old box, knew exactly what it was and couldn't wait to open them up. So at some point in the not too distant future, I'll get these on the layout. We'll have a BNSF run session. I got some really nice BNSF stuff that I've never put on the layout or never put on the channel, and a couple that I've never put on the layout. So I really do actually want to get those up there and run some of this stuff. Get some miles on these guys. I will open this main unit up here. Check and see if it's got a BCR. The battery comes back as okay, and I'm typically not one to chuck a good battery, but sometimes those batteries will say they're okay in the controller, and they're not. So, in any case, just wanted to show these guys to you really quick. Very, very, very happy with how these turned out. They are literally brand new. Got some age on them, but have no runtime or miles on them. We'll lubricate them up, give them the once over. I'll take the shell off, make sure everything looks copacetic underneath, make sure the speakers are good. Got to be careful on some of these older PS2 stuff that the speakers aren't bad. But I have no doubt that on the layout, these are going to perform really well and look really good. Got a lot of nice weight to them. I think we can really pull some long trains with these guys. Alrighty, well, hey, that's just a short one. Hey, appreciate you guys visiting with me, spending a few minutes of your time with me. Hope it's been a great day for you. Really appreciate you visiting the Lake Erie and Midwestern. Everybody, have a great day and take care.